Hi, my name is Catherine Young, and for Math 1351, I have my second lesson, which is over area for fourth graders. So the objective is that they will be able to find the area of a two-dimensional shape. Good afternoon, class. I hope you guys had a great time at art and music. Who remembers what we learned last week?
We learned how to find the perimeter of a shape.
Good job remembering. Does anyone want to explain exactly what the perimeter of a shape is?
It's the length of the boundary around a shape.
Good job. How do we find the perimeter of a rectangle?
We add up all the sides.
Fantastic. So what would the perimeter of this rectangle be?
It would be 14.
Great job. I like that you made sure to add your unit to your answer. What was the unit in this problem?
Feet.
Good job. What are other units that we've seen?
Inches, centimeters, and yards.
Fantastic. Good job remembering all of those. Now that you all know how to find the perimeter, we're going to learn another way to measure a shape. This one is called area. Area doesn't measure the boundary like a perimeter does. Area measures the amount of space that is inside the boundary. Now, since we're measuring something different, we're going to have to take different math steps. We're going to do a lot of multiplication with area, but that's okay because all of us are really good with our multiplication facts, right?
Yeah.
All right, now different shapes have different formulas. While we're learning how to find the area, I'm going to keep the formulas up in the classroom until we've memorized them and don't need them anymore. Here are all of the formulas. We're going to go over circles another day. Let's go over them. The first one is square, but I want to go over rectangles first. If you look at the chart, it says base times height. Now base is going to be the bottom of the shape, and height is going to be the side of it. CB and the height. And this one is going to be the height because it measures how tall the rectangle is. So when you want to find the area of a rectangle, you're going to multiply these two sides. This also works for squares, base times height. But does anyone remember what makes squares so special?
They all have.
All four sides are the same length.
Yeah, that.
You're right. So if you multiply the two sides, you're multiplying the same number. This is called squaring the number. You see where there's a little 2 up here?
Huh?
You don't need to know this just yet, but you'll learn more about it when you get older. But I wanted to explain that because it's on the chart, and we're going to talk about it more later as well. Right now, when you find the area of a square or a rectangle, then you will multiply the base times the height. Let's try an example. Who wants to tell us what the base is?
Seven inches.
You're right. So what's the unit?
Inches.
Correct. You don't want to forget and the unit. So the base is 7 inches long. What about the height?
Oh, the height is 3 inches.
Great job. Now what's the next step?
We multiply the base times the height.
Correct. So we're going to multiply 7 times 3. Do any of my multiplication masters want to tell me what 7 times 3 equals?
21 inches.
Great job. 7 times 3 equals 21. So what is the area of this rectangle?
21 inches. Right?
Not quite. Remember when I told you about what happens when we multiply a number times itself?
You said it was squared, right?
Correct. We just multiplied 7 inches times 3 inches. Do you see how the inches would be squared now? 7 inches times 3 inches. This is because we're measuring the entire space within the boundary. Therefore, our answer is going to look like this. 21 inches squared. Next example. Let's find the area of a triangle. formula of the area of a triangle out loud. Yes?
Let's see. Area of a triangle. It's equals to 1.5 times the base times the height.
Good job, just like it says here. So what is the base of this triangle?
5 yards.
Correct. And what is the height? What's the height?
Height 2 yards.
Correct. So what would be the area of this triangle?
10 yards.
Squared.
Squared, yeah.
Good job. Well, you're close. Remember, we're measuring the area of a triangle, not a rectangle. Let's go back to the formula. What's different about the triangle formula?
Half times base times height.
Exactly. When you multiply a half, it's the same as dividing by 2. So we got 5 times 2 is 10. So what is half of 2? You divide by 2. That equals
5.
5.
Like the base.
So our answer is 5 yards squared. You all are catching on very quickly. Let's look at another one.
Here's what that at school.
Let's look at this one. Does anyone remember what this shape is?
That's a parallelogram.
You're right. What does the chart say about finding the area of a parallelogram?
It looks like the same formula as the rectangle and the square.
You're right again. This is a little different though. Is the height the same as the side of the parallelogram? Or is it like it is in the rectangle?
I don't think so. There's another line on the chart.
You're right. It's right here. The side of a parallelogram is not accurate measurement of the height because it's diagonal. The line inside the parallelogram is an accurate measurement of the height of the parallelogram. That being said, can we find the area of this parallelogram? I don't think we can. Because this one doesn't give us the height. It only gives us the side, right?
Right.
Okay.
That was a tricky one. But you guys are doing great. Let's do another example before we do the activity today. This next one is probably one of the more complicated ones you're going to do. But I know you guys can do it. This is finding the area of a trapezoid. To find the area of this shape, you need to add the two bases together. See in the chart where it says that these are the two bases, base 1 and base 2. Then you're going to divide that by divide it by 2, my side, and then multiply it by the height, which is right here. Let's look at this trapezoid. What are the two base measurements?
6 centimeters and 8 centimeters.
You're right, 6 centimeters and 8 centimeters. So let's plug that into the formula. We got A equals 6 plus 8. And we can divide that by 2. What else do we need to know about this area to find out the area?
We need to know about the height.
Good job. So what is the height of this trapezoid?
4 centimeters.
Good job. Let's plug that into our formula as well. So we have 6 plus 8 divided by 2 times 4. So let's go this step by step. 6 plus 8 equals
14.
14. Now we divide that by 2 and that equals
7.
7, right. So what do we need to do now?
Multiply 7 by 4.
Correct.
That's 28.
Good job. So what's the official area of our trapezoid with our units?
28.
Look at the units here.
28 centimeters.
Centimeters, and since we're doing area,
Square feet.
centimeters squared. Fantastic. You all know how to find the area of a rectangle, a square, a triangle, and a parallelogram, and a trapezoid. Let's do a center activity to give you all some more practice. The activity is where they're going to go to centers, and each of the tables will have examples, and they would rotate. But we're going, and then the class will come together, and it will discuss. So we're going to go straight to the discussion. Actually, no, we're going to go to the instructions of the activity. For activity, you will get to work with your table groups. When you go back to tables, you will see 3 examples of one of the shapes we talked about. Your table will find the area of all the shapes at your table using your math book. First, you will work on your own. But once you have tried to find the area, then you may talk among your table to make sure everyone got the same answer. Once you finish all the shapes at the next table, then you may go to the next table if it's open. What direction are we going to rotate in? What do you think? We're going to go clockwise. So table 1 will move to table 2, and table 2 will move to table 3, and so on. When you're all done with when all the tables are done, you will sit back at your desk and you will raise your hand. That will let me know that you are finished, and then we will go over all the answers. So this is where we're going to come back and discuss. Let's go over the answers. What did you get for the area of the first triangle?
I got 28 centimeters squared.
I got 14 centimeters squared.
14 centimeters squared is correct. Let's take a look at this. The triangle, oh, I forgot to erase this, looks like this. All right, so the base is 7 centimeters and the height is 4 centimeters. So we're going to multiply 7 times 4, which is
28. I was right.
28. You are right on that part, but we're not done yet. Since it's a triangle, we have to divide it by 2 now.
Oh yeah, so it's 14 centimeters.
Correct. But remember, we have to add our square since we're doing area. That's a mistake that most students make. So no worries. We're going to have plenty of practice. Now that you guys have done such an excellent job today, let's go over what we learned. What did we learn to measure today?
The area of a shape.
Correct. What exactly are we measuring when we're finding the area of a shape?
We're measuring all the space that's inside the shape.
Correct. So since we're measuring the space inside the shape instead of its boundary, then what do we do with our units?
You square them.
Great job. All right. We'll look at another problem just to make sure you guys are getting the hang of it. Can we solve this problem?
No,
Why not?
because we need to have the height. The side of the parallelogram isn't the height of the shape.
Good job. You're exactly right. The side of the parallelogram is not accurate to the actual height of the shape because it's a diagonal. Now we're going to look at a real world problem. So let's say our friend Rachel is moving into a new house. And she just found out that her bedroom looks like this. And it's 5 yards by 4 yards. How big is her new bedroom? You can always look back to the formula if you need help.
23 squared?
20 yards squared, correct. So how did you get that answer? The bedroom is in the shape of a rectangle, correct?
Yes.
So we're going to multiply the base times the height. So what do you multiply?
5 and 4.
Good job, which means it's 20 yards squared. Because we square our area measurements, right? You guys are doing such a good job. Now, tonight I'm going to give you more practice so that you guys will have these shapes down and you will know exactly what you're doing by tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to work on the area of a circle, and I'm super excited to keep on continuing with this lesson with you guys. Now go pack up your bags and get ready for dismissal, and don't forget your homework folders.